Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Exodium Blade, our continuing adventures through the final expansion of AI War Classic. And we've got some scouting done, as you can see by all our lines all over the place. Our initial situation here is, well, there's some unexpected things. We can't really establish a proper buffer around our homeworld. V-date here, pretty much out of the question because it has 6 wormholes. 3 of them we're fine with, but the other 3 are Mark III, Mark IV, Mark IV. Thank you, no. Not going to bother with that. At least not yet. And it's too bad because it's a nice metal system. Now, Aspasia up here has a super terminal. Right next to our homeworld is the super terminal. And it also has a backup design center. So we're going to leave that be as well. So that's the bad news. However, Europa, 7 metal, Lunrace, 7 metal. So we have a couple good metal systems nearby. Now, the first couple of raids were kind of interesting, or waves, rather. They had a good mix for the quadratic AI, came in over here. They do have tachyon microfighters and gravity rippers, and so they basically just stood around shooting the mines. Now, coming in over here was the one for our second AI, and they had 3 ships. 2 Lightning Guardians and a Spider. They didn't get very far with that either. But we've got our usual defenses set up. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Now, in terms of our attacking, I'm definitely going to go for Europa first. And then Lunrace. And neither one of these are really optimal defensive situations, but they're what we have available. Yeah, Europa's the easiest one to capture. Just an MLRS post. Force field generator, special forces post, and then really the same thing here, but if we look at their ships, they've got 6 Spider Guardians and 5 Lightning Guardians. So that's going to be interesting, and I definitely would like to build up my fleet a little bit by taking Europa and expanding a little more first. Bombers definitely going to feature prominently, and we may have to do some rebuilding and whatnot against this particular AI to capture that. But then, once we do, we're going to have Mark II Vanth, Mark II Diabeasting, and Thea down here, also Mark II. So, adding 3 more Mark II planets to the on alert and the AI reinforcements, that part is a good thing. Now here is Nomad 1, which we already ran into. As a matter of fact, it started like down here. It's already moved. And it moves in real time, and then every once in a while, it will shift connections. And that's already happened once. If we take a look in here, here's the broken Nomad beacon that we're looking for. And this is for the actual Nomad planets, part of the lore, not the Exodium Blade. Ancient Zenith artifact, somehow associated with the mysterious Nomad worlds. If it's still in AI hands, the AI is extremely nervous about it for some reason, has put fail-safes in place to destroy the beacon if the AI loses control of the planet. If you want to reactivate it, you need to use the hacker on it before destroying the command station. Must be repaired to full health before it becomes operational, and you also need to have 500k energy to power it. It's kind of like the broken golem setup, where you really don't want to do this till later in the game. Now, in terms of the hacking that we need to do the whole Exodium Blade plot, we've also got to do a hack. It's a 10-point hack anywhere that is under AI control. So in order to do that, I really need to get enough energy up to be able to afford a beachhead, or at least have a more sizable fleet to handle the hack. So I think that's going to have to happen a little bit down the road as well. So for now, we just want to grab Europa, defend that, work on plowing through Lunrace and capture that. And then we'll see what else we can go scouting on once we get a little bit more resources going. Welcome to Lunrace. We've taken care of Europa, did mostly bombers in there with a couple of flagships, and then I built up a reasonable additional force to come in here. I've got the 9 Zul Enclave ships to distract everything. We're looking at, let's see, the Zenith Siege Engine is our bonus ship, which is essentially a fleet-size version of the Plasma Siege starship. Now you can see that it's got to stop to reload and fire, like, after it reaches the location it's going to shoot from. So it's better defensively than offensively. But I've got some distraction going on here. Let's take out these. I definitely want the Guardians to go down quickly. But another nice thing about just using those 9 Zul drones is they'll go ahead and they'll tick off various ships, and then they'll come out after us, so we don't have to deal with quite as much of their defenses. Okay, there's a Plasma Siege. Let's get rid of that. And so I just sort of want to move off this way a little bit. Yeah, let's get rid of these spiders. But I'm trying to clear out as much resistance as I can without actually dealing, with all of it at once, just piece by piece. Going pretty well so far. And then I also grabbed the heavy bombers because they're good against the big ships, and they have really high engine health. So they're going to be the best potential option against the spiders. And I want to make sure those tractors can't haul me off anywhere, and then we take down those. Okay. So let's see. Let's move you over here more. And I just sort of want to get away from those posts, wormhole guard posts, and then, you see the Zenith Siege Engine, they're not super fast, although this one's slowed down. A decent speed overall. More stuff coming out this way. Got a translocating Guardian, got a Spider Guardian. Well, that one's not coming out as far. Let's take out, okay. Now we'll go after the Spider. And I think at this point now I want to head in, well, hold on. We will in a minute. We'll head after the guard post, but yeah, let's take whatever we can in this area. Get rid of the Guardians. Make them go away, please. Boom. Okay. And now assuming we can pound through this force field, I don't see any reason why we can't. I think we're going to do quite well here. And the siege engine should help quite a bit once they can start shooting. Yep, there we go. And of course I got Plasma Siege starships as well. You see my energy holding right down there at the minimum, so, I really can't build anything else. But yeah, we're looking good here. Actually end up losing, 50 ships or so taking over this system? All of that is going to be excellent, and this will go down pretty soon. We've got still a couple Guardians here. Let's make sure that goes okay, but I think it will. Let's go ahead and take out the Spider. No. Okay, that's gone now. MLRS, next. There we go. Now we're starting to hit the guard post. Kaboom. This will be all set. Now, I actually was thinking of a different planet when I said Europa wasn't a good one to defend. It's perfectly good to defend. We're going to fortify the wormhole there. And then everything heading straight up will actually put it offline a little bit, but it's close enough to V-date, and everything that comes in here should get hit pretty hard. And even the metal harvesters are on this side. So this is actually quite a nice system to defend. And now we've expanded to a third one over here in Lunrace, so I should be able to potentially scout a little bit more. I may go invest in the next level of scout drones. I'm only at 2 right now. Do scouting on a little bit further. But we've got our foothold established, and you can see the Nomad planet moving up here further. I don't think it's switched its, connections yet, but it probably will soon. And the way it's traveling, like up in this direction, it could very well end up with a connection to our homeworld, which would suck. There's one tech thing I wanted to point out, because I've talked before. Well, I have that in Europa. So I've talked before about how I don't like using the metal harvester research at the beginning, because you want that for other things and you don't need the metal later on. And there was actually some people on the Arson Discord who were like, no, you're totally wrong. You want to invest in that metal harvester. It'll get you going faster. You can attack before the AI reinforces as much. I mean, there's some truth in that early on, and they were even thinking for peak firepower later. Look, you turn that metal into more energy so you can build more things, but I don't find the limitation on the fleet you can build later is not so much that you run out of energy, because usually you can, throw matter converters up and do that even without all of the extra metal that you would get by doing this. It's that you simply don't have enough stuff. And that's going to be especially true in this game, I would think, because we don't have any super weapons to consume energy. So I understand where they're going with that, but I thought it was an interesting thing that even this far after, I mean, the people that I were saying that are competent AI war players. They're not bad. I really disagree with that approach, but I like the fact that there's still, this far after the game is released, we're into the sequel, people still have significant debates on what the best path is through the original game. So that was pretty cool. Now, I did, in fact, go with spending to unlock the Mark III Scouts. We've still got almost 5,000 and pushing up on knowledge. You can see our energy is still pretty low. I'm not building any more fleet for now. I just want to scout out, try to save up some energy for doing that first beachhead hack to find out more about the Exodian Blade. But we need to get another system or two probably first. But this right here, the Nomad, has shown up, and I built some mines here because it's, right here, bone in our throat on the homeworld. And that's not the only place. It's also connected to Lunrace. And so over here, I just kind of threw a couple of, grav things over there. I've built the, sort of blockade command station on top of the wormhole here. And it's not the best scenario here, but it'd be much worse if they came in through Nomad. So I want to at least have something here to slow them down if we can pound them. So we're going to have to really watch the waves for a moment, but it is early in the game, and we should not have too much problem with it. All right, I think we have the beginnings of a plan. Now, I've found another Nomad planet down here that's floating around doing some various things, even has an orbital mass driver on it, which is interesting. We have Geonosis here as an interesting system, Advanced Research Station, and Missile Frigate Mark V. So that's probably a good target for us. That's 4 hops away. It's connected to this Nomad here. It's connected to Mark III here, Mark IV here. That's another one we might want. Might be able to hack that gravity drain there later, and that would save us the trouble of taking it, maybe neuter that planet. A Coruscant's nearby, a Mark II, so we'd want to wait until we're comfortable neutering a Mark IV planet. Not quite yet, but Geonosis definitely in the target category. We found a couple of data centers. Ouija Man one there, and Typhon here. I'm going to want to hit those soon. There's a couple of Dire Guardian layers also, Tatooine and Friend Commuter. But there's a few core turret controllers. Haven't decided for sure on all of those, and they're on, high mark planets generally, so we're just going to hold the phone on that. This one for here, I think, is my next target. Now, I'm going to have to spend some science and get the assault transports, but this is a reasonably defensible factory, and it's only on a Mark II planet. Defenses are not that high. There's some Guardians and starships, but I think we can put together a fleet that's strong enough. It won't be an easy fight, but that can take this down. And then we get the factory, we get the Mark IV Scout, send that out all over the galaxy, figure out the rest of this scouting, and then go for an additional plan. Now, the Zenith Trader visited our homeworld, and it may not be back. The first game I did Zenith Trader on, I was only able to buy stuff on the homeworld once, so I went on a bit of a spending spree. Now, they're all deactivated, so I don't build them, but I got basically one of everything useful. Orbital Mass Driver, Zenith Power Generator, Mark II Radar Jammer, Armor Booster, Black Hole Machine, Counter Spy, which knocks out any cloaked ships, pretty much, that dare to have the effrontery to show up, Planetary Armor Inhibitor. Now we're going to need a whole bunch of metal to build all these things. I'm going to try to be careful with metal, gradually build them up, starting with the Zenith power generator. That'll get us on top of the energy situation, hopefully sooner than usual. We have gotten a couple more waves. The second one from the quadratic AI just took a little bit longer than the other wave of Guardians from the second AI to spool up, and we ended up with about 150 ships there, I think, 5 Guardians in the other one. No problem with that for right now. I could do a bit more scouting, but I think I just want to hit Dion, and you can see our energy is really tight, but I don't want to use, the matter converters because I want to save all my metal for building up this stuff. So I'm just going to try to approach things on that path. And if all goes well, next session what we're going to see is the rest of the galaxy scouted quite early and a much better idea of what our plans are. And it'd be nice if this Nomad planet would get away from my homeworld. I'd kind of appreciate that too. I think it's moving far enough away that it should be doing that soon. And this one seems to be moving off in this direction. So I don't expect that to be a problem in the near future. Anyway, Dion it is going forward. Thanks for watching, everybody. More AI War Classic going to be coming up. And we'll hopefully have a much better picture of things by then. See you soon.